Hello. And it still doesn't show me being live. Okay, this thing says that I'm live. Been live for 30 seconds. Hey, Christopher, how are you, man? Thanks for coming by. I know you were over there in the Baldy Pals show. I didn't know he had one scheduled for tonight at this time. All right, I picked a different time. We're just waiting for somebody else to show up. I have to go through the StreamYard tutorial again. Well, that's cool. Maybe some of those guys will run over here. Oh, and my Instagram's blowing up. Somebody's liking a reel and somebody else is following me. Rather hear some of those cha-chings. Slow sales have been kind of slow the last 2 or 3 days. Hey, Pockets and Stitches, how are you? Yeah, your slow sales have been slow too, huh? Well, one good thing about sales being slow for me, I was able to actually catch up on my listings. Hey, Jennifer, how are you? I'm having to switch back and forth between StreamYard and YouTube to be able to do things. There you go. Jennifer, I hope you don't mind, but I added you as a mod. Oh yeah, the low ball offers. Somebody gives me a ridiculous low ball, they get countered with 1 cent off of my full asking price. Crazy enough, sometimes that actually leads to a sale. Yeah, I've got a few waiting for payment too. eBay keeps promising they're going to fix that, but I don't think they're in too big a hurry to do it. So, has anybody had any good sales this week? Hey, Kristen, how are you? Glad to see you made it, Kristen. And I hope you don't mind, but I did make you a mod. So, Kristen, we saw that your stock was a big success. You come home with almost an empty trailer. Did you do any buying after you left there? Because I know you were planning to go into the bins in a couple of different cities. Yeah, guys, I can use all the help I can get. I'm new at this. It took me 2 or 3 hours last week just to figure out how to turn it on, and StreamYard is still new to me. I've got a couple of the videos on how to use it in my queue to watch. I tried watching one of them last night, but I kind of got busy and wasn't paying as close attention as I should have been. Awesome. Hopefully, you made some real good finds at them. I only have two other bins anywhere close to me. One of them is a city that I don't go to, and the other one is on the other side of the state from me. Yeah, I like to say hi to everybody that comes in new when I'm in any of the other resellers' live streams. Uh, Sometimes, especially some of the bigger ones, because it gets so crazy and people get so far behind in the chat that they never get to them. So I like to make sure everybody feels welcome. Hey, Kristen, you sell a lot of clothing. Do you have a flat lay or do you have put things on hangers? How come you haven't been to the bins, Jennifer? It's actually pretty crazy what you can find there. Flat lay, yeah. I need to make a flat lay board. I've tried adding pool noodles to coat hangers and they still don't look right. So I gotta find a board and cover it with some kind of fabric. I'll go to the bins. There ain't nothing to be scared of. Oh, on the floor. Yeah, I'm in a garage, and this old concrete floor hasn't. I wouldn't lay clothing on it. When I had my eBay office in the house, I would flat lay on the floor, but I never did care for it. I couldn't get the lighting right, and angles with the camera were crazy looking. Kind of want to build a board that I can just set in my photo booth and lay it back on an angle. Huh, that's crazy, Jennifer. At my bins, there's children there every day, and sometimes they're a little rambunctious. Yeah, when you start getting up to my age, getting down on the floor is not too hard, but getting back up can absolutely be hard. Okay, Kristen, that'll be one of those bins videos, I imagine. I'll be looking forward to seeing the first one soon. So has anybody been selling winter clothing yet? The closest thing that I've sold to winter clothing is a couple of days ago. I sold a Harry Potter cardigan of an extra long size, extra large. I think it's like a 4X, and sold pretty fast. And I actually had it priced high. And what I didn't know was that the actor who played Hagrid had just passed away. Oh, okay, Jennifer. The Balls Free. Yeah, Balls Free Mix is really not that far from me. I could probably make Vegas in a day's drive if I left really early. It's just the timing for it was wrong for me. By the time I found out it was going on, I already had too many big expenses coming up. I may have to start scheduling these a little bit later. I got the afternoon sun coming straight in from a window over here. It's kind of putting a glare on everything, especially my glasses. Have to get some kind of a curtain to go on that. But I use some of that natural lighting for when I'm taking pictures. Let's see. They said Baldy Pow would be ending at 6, so hopefully we'll get an influx of more people coming in. Jennifer, you may not know this, but I'm actually a trained, not only a watchmaker but a jeweler and a lapidary. I cut stones. And I've actually found gold and silver jewelry at the bins. I found they brought out a new rotation, and there was a fairly large jewelry box. And when I picked it up, I heard something rattling in it. So I pulled the bottom drawer out, and then underneath the drawer in the back was a silver pendant in a heart shape and some small little piece of 14 karat gold. Fireball Flippers is here. How you doing? Glad you could make it over here. So yeah, it's not impossible to find jewelry. I've seen bags full of the costume jewelry. I don't know enough about that stuff. I know there's some of it that's got some value to it, but most of the stuff I find doesn't, or I can't figure out how to find a price for it. Me switch over to the other side for just a second. See how many people are in here. We got 5 people in here. 3 likes so far. Appreciate that. Trying to think. I thought I had a box full of the jewelry sitting around here somewhere. I listed some of it and don't know what I did with the rest of it. It's in this organized chaos somewhere. Pockets and Stitches, if you can send me some pictures over on Instagram of at the very least the dial with the name of the watch, I can give you some more information on them. Yeah, my Goodwills have a lot of the jewelry in the glass cases. Kristen, I just decided one day that I was going to jump off in it and see what I could do with it. The StreamYard is a little different for me. Hey, my pleasure. I love helping people with watches. I do it almost daily. I had a customer come in today and I had to give him some sad news. He paid a lot of money for a fake watch. If you've never heard of Patek Philippe, they are very, very high end watches. I used to do a lot of videos. You can even find some of my old mining and gemstone videos here on YouTube, but I never learned how to edit. And I've done some filming for some TV shows that never got picked up. So I'm not too camera shy. What I am is technology shy. Learning the ins and outs of all these programs it can be a little frustrating. Well, Jennifer, you have to go through some of those there. You may have some winners. Be sure to check the small ladies' watches and make sure none of them are marked 14 karat gold. Some names to watch out for are, of course, Rolex, but Omega, Longines, Hamilton, Bulova sometimes. I love going through big buckets of watches like that. I one time bought a rusty old coffee can at an estate sale at a ranch in a barn. It was full of just junk watches, and I paid $5 for them. In the bottom of that rusty coffee can was an Omega wristwatch that I ended up selling here on eBay for $6,000. Yeah, and so I would do things. It would take I'd do 5 or 6 takes before I'd get it right. Matt's here. How you doing, Matt? But my videos would always get posted raw, warts and all. I would say. I guess I did all right with them. Yeah, there are a lot of fake Rolexes out there. I've been in the watch industry for so long that more often than not, before somebody even hands me the watch, I can tell them it's fake. Let's see. Chris, I may have one in the works. I know I've got one that's a family piece that I need to finish, but I may have one or two other Longines. They'll be vintage, of course, not new. Actually, I've got a quartz Longines, and I believe I have it right here. It's old enough to be vintage, but it's not mechanical. Ah, there it is. Let's see. I'm going to waste a label for this. We're doing this live from my shipping computer, which is just a little laptop, but it was the only streaming camera I had. And there it is. There is a Longines quartz wristwatch, and it is running, and apparently on time. Matt, did you make a good pickup on some shoes? Check this. And there comes the airplane. Hopefully, we don't have a lot of those. I live in the flight path of the local airport, which is only about 2 miles away. Do you have luck with those Cole Haans, Matt? I've only ever been able to sell one pair of them. I'm actually sold down pretty low on men's shoes right now, but every time I find a pair of my local Goodwills, they've got them priced up too high for me to buy. Mm. The dress shoes I have the best luck with are going to be the Allen Edmonds if they're in really good shape, or the vintage Florsheims. The modern ones that are made in India, they're just not good sellers. Normally, when I find the Grand OSs, they're around here. They're beat up, and I've learned my lesson. If a modern shoe is in too rough a condition, they're just not worth picking up. And I'm pretty good at refurbishing older leather shoes and boots. So yeah, especially running shoes. That tread has to be immaculate, and there cannot be any loose stitching or pulling away from the midsole and stains. Yeah, and they're a little easier to clean up. What I look for those is if the uppers are separating from the soles right in the crease at the vamp. If they're separated right there, I don't even bother picking them up. But lately, the my local thrift stores have started pricing the Converse and the Vans. They've started pricing them up between $13 and $18 a pair, which is not much below what they sell for on eBay. And the Vans that I like finding are the ones that are themed, like the Star Wars themed ones. Those do pretty good for me. Yeah, pockets and stitches. I'm gonna hopefully this weekend I'll finish my video series on how to refresh a pair of boots. Um, I've just been too busy to finish that, and I'll pick up on that this weekend. Hopefully, I have to remove a fence line from my property, so because I've got a company coming in on the 24th to put me a brand new fence in. So hopefully, I can get finished with that work in time to put the videos together. If not, maybe next weekend. One of the key things to look for on the boots will be leather soles. The heel, well, the bottom of the heel, can be it's called the top lift, and that can be plastic or rubber. But the actual sole itself needs to be leather. If not, they have to be in fairly like new condition and be something like Ariats or H&H, double H, I think they're called. I'll talk about all that and give some pointers. The boots that I'm working on with the video may not ever make it online. They're pretty beat up. The main reason I picked them up is because they were beat up that bad, and I want to show just how far back you can bring them. So if you find them in a little better condition than the ones I have on Instagram, you can really bring them back and do good with them. Hey, Angie, how are you? Glad you can make it over here. Yeah, women's cowboy boots or cowgirl boots, I guess you'd say, they do well if they're in pretty decent shape. Some of the Justin, um, trying to think of the line for the Justin boots for the women, they can do really well. But they do have to be in pretty decent condition. Let's go over here for just a second. Angie, I hope you don't mind, but I am about to make you a mod. There we go. Well, we've got 2 out of the 3 podcasters. Well, let's do lunch, reseller podcast girls. Ladies, I really appreciate y'all being here. Thank you, Christopher. I really appreciate that, man. I know I've joined many a live show because you sent me a message and let me know it was happening. Sometimes I get busy out here drafting, listing, cleaning, testing, and I just lose track of time. And I just have to catch what I can catch when I get tired of working for the day. So let's. Yeah. Hopefully she'll come by. I don't know if she knows we're having this tonight. I think I told her about it, but I didn't know she was already scheduled to be on Adam's show. So they should be shutting down here pretty quick in the next couple of minutes. And let's see. I got invited to be on a guest on another show on the 13th for the Nashville Flippers. So mark your calendars. I'll be on the Nashville Flippers show on the 13th. Oh, well, they shut down early. I'd take these glasses off so you guys wouldn't have to see the glare all the time, but I'm blind as a bat without them. Well, it's not much of a choice, is it, Chris? Oh boy. Hey, Scott, how are you? Appreciate you being here, Cha-Ching King. I hope you don't mind, Scott, but I'm going to add you also as a moderator. So there you go. Hi, Tina, how are you? Easy now, big fella. Tina, send me some of that low 40s. I love it. I sleep better when it's cold. As long as my wife doesn't run the thermostat up on me to 80 degrees. As long as it's not snowing, I can handle the cold. I have got to figure out the lighting situation in here. I've got my eBay workroom here is never this dark, but I have LED lighting in here and they're extremely bright. And when I've got them turned on at the same time that this camera is turned on, it just glares out the screen. Yeah, no, you can keep all that white stuff. I don't want any of it. I used to live on the west slope of Colorado, um, up in the mountains above Grand Junction at about 6,000 feet. And yeah, that snow, I'm over it. Oh man, Scott, come on now. You didn't save me one? I was almost going to stop at the butcher shop and get me some on my way home today. And then I remembered I had this show. So maybe tomorrow. Yeah, when I lived in Colorado, I'd have to climb up on the roof and use a shovel to dig my satellite dish out just so I could watch TV. So yeah, I'm over it. Scott, you'd hate to see what they charge for them around here. We're anywhere from $23 to $26 a pound. I think even our skirt steak here is like $12 a pound. I've got to where when I really want steak, I'll go get me a big London broil and I'll cook it like a steak and just cut it thin across the grain. I might just pin a calf up in the backyard. Scott, you don't have to chase them. You just go out there with a bucket and shake it at them, and they'll come running. See, Tina, the only way I ship anything outside the United States is through the global shipping program because I don't want to deal with headaches like that. And back before the global shipping program, I had completely shut it down because I took a return just from Canada and it cost me almost 3 times as much to have it shipped back to me. Yeah, Scott, I'm from Texas, so I grew up raising cattle. We always raised 3 or 4 calves every year, and about 5 or 6 acres worth of garden. And oh my God, my grandmother raised thousands of chickens, ducks, geese, guineas. If it had feathers on it, she raised them. Hmm. Tina, I wouldn't know. I don't think I've sent anything to Germany. I know every country that I could put on my exclusion list, I did, and GSP handles all my international. Yeah, I heard there are going to be some changes, but if I'm too nervous about what they come up with, I'll just shut it down. I know a lot of people swear by international sales, but there's just too much risk, especially with some of the stuff that I sell with the nice watches. Well, that's good, and that they would have got me because I have the 1 day shipping. And a few months back, I started dropping off all my shipping at my local UPS store, which is only 3 blocks from here or four, because they take in USPS. But the problem was a lot of my shipping wasn't getting picked up on time to be scanned that day. So I took a couple of dings on my shipping time. I'm still above 99%, but there shouldn't be any flaws in my shipping time because I ship every day. I've got family that lives in Germany. I believe I would have, if I do end up selling something to Germany, I might reach out to them and try to get some help with that. Oh, I don't even pretend to try and wait for my postal carriers. I have one guy that's normal, but 2 or 3 times a week it's somebody else. And when you schedule a pickup, they never show up, and it's just a hassle. It's not that far from me. It's on my daily route anyway, so I just take it in, drop it off. Matt, with 2 day handling, do you still rate for top rated? Yeah, there's been a few times, Matt, where I didn't think I was going to make it because I couldn't find something or I didn't have the right box for it. Yeah, me too. Where I actually work, do my watch work is only 2 blocks from the post office, and UPS is only 4, maybe 5 blocks from my house. Both are in on my way to work. Huh. I may change to 2 day handling then. I'll still ship every day, but every once in a while when I lose, well, not lose, but when I can't find an item, doesn't happen often, but when it does, it it can make you nervous. Well, we lost a few people. Yeah, I stopped using FedEx, Matt. It's FedEx Home Delivery or FedEx Home Post or whatever that program is they call it is not actually FedEx. They are contractors, and they made wear FedEx uniforms and drive FedEx ship trucks, but they are not actually FedEx. And I've had some really bad luck with them, both receiving and sending. Yeah, Angie, I've my draft bank is about empty. When we get done with this show tonight, I'm gonna have to get up and draft a bunch more. Yeah. Did anybody else get the messages from pirate ships saying they were not going to raise the shipping prices, and that they because as soon as eBay started their shipping prices started going up, I tried to use pirate ship and it was the exact same prices. Hey, Mama with the camera, how are you today? If I remember right, your name is Lori. Correct me if I am wrong. Still not Kyle. I probably let that joke go on just a little bit too long, but it's not the first time in my life that somebody didn't know my real name and they were calling me something else, and I just let it slide to see how long it would go. It's kind of funny. Lori, I hope you don't mind, but I did make you a mod. Matt, did I make you a mod yet? Let me check. No, I did not. Here we go, Matt. We'll give you that wrench. There we go. TRP. All right. Somebody tell me what TRP means. Oh, top rated plus. Yes. I pay over $1,000 a month in fees. So that 10% discount on the fees is a pretty big deal to me. Ooh. Matt, that's one of my favorite quotes. Uncle Ben, Spider Man. Yeah, Scott, that's what I'm been thinking about doing. This everyday thing and those defects I have on my shipping time. And it's never been me. I would drop it off at UPS, and then if the USPS driver didn't make it by there that day, or they made it there late that day, then they wouldn't get shipped or wouldn't get scanned until the following day. And by that time, eBay says I'm late, even though I dropped it off that morning. And I pay for returns. A lot of times, instead of having them send things back, though, what I will do is just go ahead and initiate the refund and tell them to keep it. And it irritates me when they don't keep it and they send it back, because then I have to pay for that shipping back too. Hi, Marie. How are you? We're all just hanging out and talking. Yeah, Matt, it's less than 1%, so I'm really not that worried about it. Since I stopped dropping USPS off at UPS, I think that'll change. I have a message on there saying that they're going to reevaluate on the 20th, which is tomorrow. If it doesn't change, I will change over to 2 day shipping, because it's kind of ridiculous to take a ding just because somebody else didn't do their job. Yeah, Scott, that's right. You have to take returns, whether you want to or not. A buyer can force you to take a return, and eBay 99.9% of the time will side with them, and they'll take that money back from you, whether you want them to or not. It's just easier to go ahead and offer the free returns and get the top rated plus. They're paying you to do it. So they can either pay you and you do it, or they'll force you to do it and not pay you. Take your choice. Yeah, Matt, the problem is the two biggest ones that happened to me were items that I dropped off at the UPS office, and they just completely disappeared, never got scanned by USPS, and never made it to the buyer. So they won't take them off anyway. But there were like three others that did make it, and I'm still well over 99% perfect with my shipping anyway. Yeah, with the exception of my watches, almost everything I buy it cheap. So if somebody wants to return something, I do go ahead and refund them and ask them to keep it. And every great once in a while, they send it back anyway, which, like I said, is irritating, because by the time they do ship it back to me, I got to add not only their original shipping that I gave back to them, that comes out of my pocket, then the shipping to get it back to me comes out of my pocket. And now I've usually got 3 or 4 times as much money in it as what I like to have in it to try and sell. However, here lately, I do believe some people are scamming me just to see if I will give that return or that refund without making them return it. So I've been thinking about forcing the issue of making them return it and just eating the cost just to keep people from getting something for free and abusing the system. And the buyers having to pay for returns may stop a lot of frivolous returns, but it's not going to stop the people abusing the system. It's just not. Yeah, Matt, that's what I've been thinking about doing. I just hate wasting the money. Anybody that, I had just yesterday, I had to give a return on a pair of Converse shoes. Shipping and all was less than $20. It was like $19 and something. And the buyer had asked me the 20 questions, and I didn't think they were going to buy them. Then they bought them, and they wanted me to send them the shoe trees that I used to take pictures with. And I was like, no, I need those. These are from a friend. They're custom made by him or for him, and I'm not sending you my shoe trees. And then they paid for the shoes, and then immediately, as soon as they got them delivered, wanted to turn around and send them back for just don't like it. So I refunded them, told them to keep the shoes, and then I blocked them. Yeah, Tina, I've had that happen too. I've also had recently a package. It was media mail. It was a VHS. And on a day where the buyer's normal delivery person was off, the package got marked as undeliverable and that they had tried to deliver it twice and then they returned sendered it to me. Luckily, I did get it back. I went ahead and refunded that buyer. And they said they would buy it and pay first class passage if I would just, or postage, if I would just relist it. I relisted it and they ghosted me. Yeah, I'm quick to block a buyer that I don't like. It's kind of one thing that I miss about the original old days of eBay is, they would have to send you, you'd wait a week or longer to get paid, but they sent the payment directly to you in the form of a money order or a check, and sometimes even cash. And then you send them the item. And there really was no such thing as a return. Yeah, Tina, that is actually there are people out there who do that on purpose, which is one of the reasons I do not ship international other than through GSP. I have a friend who sold a $20,000 gold watch to a buyer in Israel, and they used a post office box. So the watch arrived, and she didn't go pick it up. The buyer didn't go pick the watch up. She put in a request for a refund because the watch was never delivered. And all she had to do was go down to our post office and pick it up. Well, eventually eBay sided with her, gave her a full refund, which they took out of his account. Then she went to the post office and picked up the watch. Yeah, there's a lot of them that do. The vintage T-shirt market is full of them that do that. They will order a high-end vintage T-shirt. They'll get the T-shirt in, start an INED case, and they'll send back just a very small package. And what they'll do is when they print the label that eBay gives them, they will scan it first and then reprint it and Photoshop a different address on there. It still has the same tracking number and it'll show eBay that the package was delivered, but you never get your package back and they take your money from you. Yeah, Matt, that's it was tough. I will say that these days, for the higher priced watches like that, it has to go to eBay's authentication service first. And if they try to return it for any reason, it has to go back to eBay authentication. And if they try to pull anything fast, they won't get away with it, and it won't cost you anything. Bama, how you doing, brother? Glad to see you stop by, man. I appreciate you. Hey, we're back up to 9 people watching and 9 likes. Guess we can say that's 100%. Damon, you find anything good this week? Yeah, I do. I like the authentication service. I had a customer recently brought me a watch and was trying to sell it to me, and they didn't like my offer, and they wouldn't let me take it apart to verify it was what it was. And they sold it on eBay themselves. Turned out it was a clone. Got sent back to them, and then they come in to me wanting my help to prove that eBay stole their watch. I was like, man, that's a multi-billion-dollar company. They're not interested in stealing your one little $2,000 or $3,000 watch. I haven't been checking high bid lately. In my area, there's only a few places that do it, and I haven't had real good luck with them. Now, last year I had some pretty good luck. There was one fairly local guy. Now, Lori, Hoka's there for a while. I was finding them fairly often and in pretty decent shape, and of all places at the bins. But I don't know. I guess eBay or Goodwill caught on to what Hokas are around here, and we don't see them anymore unless they're completely trashed out and they're at the bins. I had a day where I was at the bins 2 months ago. I think I found 3 pairs, all of them in pretty decent shape. Yeah, Chris, I remember a couple of nights ago you were on a live and you were showing some of the stuff you had. You got a lot of stuff, mister. Yeah, Scott, it seems that way. It's always the cheap stuff that people want to complain about. And it's usually something just petty. Yeah, Bama, that sounds like a pretty good hookup. There for a while, I had a customer that was into estate sales, did a lot of estate sales, and I didn't know it until one day he asked me. He brought in a box full of watches, and that's when I found out he was running estate sales. And he would let me come in early, and then he just kind of disappeared. I don't know what happened to him. Yeah, Scott, what kind of jacket did you sell for $2,100? Chinchilla jacket. Huh. At $2,100, there was meat left on the bone to sell it again. Wonder what they got for it. I don't live in Texas anymore. I'm from there, but I haven't lived in Texas in about 12 years. I'm in Oregon these days. Scott, I don't think I've ever even heard of that brand. Tina, where are you from? Oh, where do you live in Texas? I'm from East Texas area, up above Beaumont. All right, man. I'm glad you stopped by, man. Be careful at work tonight. Dang. 60K for a jacket. Man, I'm in the wrong racket. Most of that designer stuff to me is ugly. I think she's in Las Vegas. Hustle at Home Mom or something like that. She finds some crazy designer stuff. Uh, well, I guess Drew made the easy choice. Somebody said he had a choice between coming in here for a little while or going on a date night with Rachel. Hmm. All right, Pockets and Stitches. Appreciate you stopping by. We've been on here for an hour now, and I don't know how much longer we're going to stay for tonight. Man, I have never found a pair of AF1s. I get online and I watch people like the ATL flippers, and they're constantly finding them. I've never found a pair. All right, people. I have. It's been a pretty long day. We've been on here for an hour, and I'm having way too much dead air where I'm not talking, and I don't want to bore you guys. So I will try to come up with a theme or something for next week at the same time, Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. EST, and maybe I'll try to do something other than just sit here like a lump on a log for you guys. All right, Scott. You know what they say, hindsight's 2020. What unless somebody's got oh, I just got a sale. Did y'all hear that? It's for a bread machine paddle, $5.99. I've never seen a chinchilla. Anyway, guys, I think we're going to call it a night here. I've had a bit of a long day. I've got several long days ahead of me, and I am going to work on coming up with nope, PS time, Pacific Standard Time, so it'll be West Coast time. Hi, Marie. Didn't see you come in, I don't think. Thanks, Christopher. I always have to Google that so when somebody else tells me a show time. Anyway, guys, I think we're going to call it right there. I'm going to go find me something to eat, and then I'm going to get busy doing some listing. And we'll see you right back here next week, 5:30 PST, and I'll have some kind of a theme for us, maybe something that I can teach you about how I do things. All right, guys. Good night.